The Captain Commando collab is the latest crossover to enter Langrisser mobile. Aside from Cold Steel, I've actually heard of this. Well, it was more like me scrolling around one day and then I just saw the title and the dude himself. I'm looking at the two characters that we'll be getting, and it's kind of silly, like this dude with the baby on his back and like the ninja dude with the whatever this is. Is this like a stand or something? Like from JoJo? Did I say that right? I never seen JoJo to be honest, so I have no idea what I'm talking about. Anyways though, let's check out the man himself. Him and this baby are physical attackers that's part of the protagonist, strategy and time faction who are only infantry class. His talent increases AoE damage and oh my bad, I actually read too fast and I saw something crazy. I literally almost lost it because I read that his AoE damage can go up to 300%. But that's only when fighting against enemies without any soldiers, so most likely 100% is going to be the same case as Awakener. The active attack gains 1 battle enthusiasm that gives mobility, attack, and defense that accumulates 3 times for 2 turns that can't be dispelled. At the end of action, if the max number of battle enthusiasm is reached, buff duration isn't reduced and can act again that has a 2-turn cooldown. So what I'm kind of hoping for his other skills, like his other kit, can actually help him build up these battle stacks. But yeah, we can expect this guy to have some crazy AoE damage, and I'm all for that. I love AoE attackers, especially when they can do big damage. It's either like that or like when they can really set the pressure. But in general though, I just love AoE attackers. This AoE skill attacks in an adjacent position when the number of combat is greater than 1. He attacks for each stack and the cooldown of the skill is reduced by 1. Another AoE teleports him and attacks enemies within 3 blocks of 3 squares in a straight line and applies damage taken increase. If it hits 2 or more enemies, then he gains a stack of battle. Yo, that's not bad. We got some debuff going, and that teleporting thing makes it so that he doesn't like technically have to run up. Like what I mean is just so that he can be near the enemies, like get closer to them. Dude's third AoE hits a single enemy to shift them, which most likely refers to displacement. It randomly moves the enemy to other empty space within 1 block and incapacitates them. His 3C passive, if he consumes all his mobility, then he gets 1 stack of battle. It's an AoE that attacks within 3 blocks and does smaller damage to adjacent enemies. Afterwards, it applies shock where they take fixed damage before using a skill, and increase cooldown for each 1 turn that lasts for 2 turns. I really do like how there are more ways to build up these battle stacks. That mobility is going to be so huge for him because of his main issue. This guy also has a revive because everyone needs a revive apparently. This guy's sole focus is to be an AoE attacker obviously, and because of that, he's not going to be all that great in regular content unless you take him in places where he can take on some of the weaker enemies, like maybe in joint battle. He also doesn't provide any crazy debuffs besides like maybe one of them if you want to count that one. But what he just really cares about is nuking the enemy. Pair him with someone like Awakener or literally anyone else who can buff up his damage because that's what he really needs. Also more mobility as well, if you can provide that. Otherwise, you'll have to play really patiently for him to set up to build all of those stacks. Onto the ninja dude, his name is Ginzu. As you can expect from the character design, he's going to be an assassin. He's a physical attacker who's part of the protagonist, meteor, and time faction. His talent offers attack, crit, and range increase. He starts in walking mode, where he does more damage and ignores guard. At the end of action, for every 1 mobility consumed, the next mobility is increased up to 5. If all of his mobility is consumed this turn, then he enters running mode at the same time. So if he fails a kill, he can attack again, where he's unable to move. Otherwise, he goes into walking mode. Oh yeah, illegal mobility. He has a passive that deals fixed damage to restore HP. After damaging with an active attack, then you do another fixed damage, or maybe it's actually like doubling the damage. His single target skill applies shell melting, where the buff is converted to a debuff. Apply the special tile effect, biochemical corrosion, to the caster for 2 turns. It spreads around the enemy at the start of the turn, and if the enemy moves to it, they get shell melt. In running mode, you deal fixed damage before battle. He has an AoE that increases crit rate and steals 1 buff. In running mode, he can move 3 blocks afterwards. His 3C passive in running mode when defending the terrain, he gets 2 block of avoiding mobility decrease. It's a single target skill that increases crit. If in walking mode, he attacks before the enemy. After battle, he gets 1 turn of smoke, where it disappears if hit by an AoE. He'll also get a command effect where all allies within 1 circle have a 30% chance that the enemy will lose the target and cannot attack, which is 100% in PvP. When an enemy is killed, the cooldown is reduced by 3 turns. I'm kinda surprised that this is the only skill in walking mode, where you get more benefit being in that state. I see a little bit of clear in him with that mobility thing. It works in the opposite way, but other than that, this guy looks like he's all about fundies. So all you gotta do is focus on the basic stuff like positioning. Both of these characters, to be honest. Ginzu is definitely like a lot more easier to use. He doesn't have to do much to be rewarded, whereas Captain Commando has to approach to be any better. Yo, we got an exclusive for Patricia. Oh man, it's a weapon, so no miracle staff. Her Soul Burn Plague lasts an extra turn. After dealing active damage, 100% chance to inflict an additional Soul Burn Plague. I'm kind of hoping it's just doing damage in general rather than entering battle. It kind of suck a lot if that's the case. Actually, maybe, no, is it? Would it? Maybe I'm just saying that since I'm always AoEing with her and never really using a single target skill. But even then, if you are carrying one, you're typically trying to land a kill with it. That's how I see it. If you're using AoEs, you're typically not trying to like kill, but like set the pressure. Patricia is one of my favorite characters to use right now, so maybe once it comes closer to global, I'll have a better foresight on it, cause right now I do have mixed opinions on it. We'll see though. Some of the casting skills here is for Grenshiel. Before battle, the Chilling Sword converts the enemy's mobility increase into reduction for 1 turn. Chilling Shield Sword? I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be the same thing, but you get a command effect where allies within 2 block have their attack and int be increased. Not the kind of buff I was expecting. I expected something like cooldown for at the gun skill. I feel like that would be really good. Like it would have helped her out a lot. This casting seems mediocre. Second is for Olivier. For each enemy hit by his skills, skill damage is increased and the cooldown is reduced up to 3. Yo, that's huge. He does have insane range, but I'm not sure if he's like a hard hitter. That's the only one that I'm like kind of questioning about. So at least with this casting, it should help with that. But this buff though, it is really good. Gustav is the third one. When you cast a skill targeting you, the cooldown is +1, huh? Wait, isn't that bad? After using it, you can move 2 blocks and act again. Ah, I see. I don't know much about Gustav. I know that she has a thing where she gets better if her skill is on cooldown, like she gets more range, if I'm correct on that. As far as I can tell though, this buff is actually doing more good than bad. Final one is for Hein. At the end of action, gets 1 talent stack and additional thunder or flame. So what happens if Hein isn't SP? This casting doesn't seem like all that crazy good. How about like maybe if he has like maximum stack of this, he gets more range. I feel like that would be a better upgrade. Some of the interesting banners that I saw was a Raider for Grenshiel and Taranto, a Destiny banner that has Angel and Hilda in it, and a Raider with Patricia, someone right now who is important for bonds. As for the content, the collab formable events, more content for the Odyssey game mode, the recent new game mode that got released, a thing to get some faction buff characters if you're level 30. It should be the exact same thing where there's like a 4-part event that's similar to the one that I think that first appeared in Cold Steel collab, I'm pretty sure it's the same thing. So you get characters like Ledin, Bernhardt, and Ultimuller. Characters from year 1 that has faction buff skills. This new type of voucher that can be used for time rip and main store to perfect clear them, apparently. I'm also kind of hoping that we can use them to sweep them instead of using stamina. I hope it can also do that as well, which I'm pretty sure it would, which I would assume it would. Also a catching stage voucher. I'm pretty sure it's already in global, like it came out like maybe a month ago, maybe 2 months, which I just never mentioned it. But pretty much with this, you get an extra daily chance. A login event where you get the scroll thing to build the mystery game machine, which I wasn't able to see, so I don't know what it does, but you can see it from here, in this picture. A small event that teases the 6th anniversary. You solve quizzes and you get rewards. For some of the new skins, an Echo Life for Hilda and Lost Them. Yeah, so what I'm guessing what happened is that there were limitations on this collab. I'm not sure what the whole story is, but the Captain Commando game or anime, whatever it is really old, and there's no dialogue for the characters too. All it just plays is like their sound effects. So maybe they couldn't get like the actual voice actor to come in, or if it was what I said, like there was limitations on what they can do with this collab. So yeah, sad that there's no Echo Life for them. It was in this update in CM that they got the summon skin for Grenshiel and Gids, which got released for all server at the same time, and a Machalotto skin for Lugner. Not bad. I like the nine-tailed fox right there that's like sleeping on his lap. A little fun fact about me is that I am into like the Chinese mythology stories. Believe it or not, I really like the stories. It's really fascinating. So I might save up for this skin. Oh, now that I think about it, we should get character skins based on those stories. Because Langrisser Mobile did originate from CN. First though, I want a wedding skin for Angelina. Come on, Zon Games, let's make it happen. Alright, so that was about most of the interesting stuff that CN got. These characters doesn't scream like OP or anything. They look solid for the most part. Captain Commando is insanely strong, but his weakness holds him back a lot, which is him being slow, so he has a hard time approaching. But if you have characters who can help him with that, then it shouldn't be as bad. Otherwise, you're gonna have to wait a while for him to set up in order to get that mobility and build up his damage too. He is the one that I'm looking forward to the most. Ginzu is definitely the more favorable in this collab. Not really as gimmicky to use compared to Captain Commando. He has a lot of stuff that he can make use of, like building up his mobility. It is going to be insanely good. Can ignore guard and act again to maybe double tap people. The utility that he has just makes him so much more usable. It does seem like it is the collab with the least amount of content that I've seen in Langrisser history actually, which I am assuming that there were just limitations on what they were allowed to do. Regardless though, it seems like a solid update. They are skippable too, since they are PvP focused. Ginzu might be the only one that you may be looking forward to, not someone that you really need. You know, he's an attacker and there's so many other characters that you can replace. By the way, the 6th anniversary is next after this collab. I do not know anything about that yet. That even goes for the character herself. I've seen the character, but I don't know what she exactly does. So be patient with me. Like I'm always keep on saying, I'm only saying this so that you guys know what's going on. I'm trying my best to catch up. I'm really hoping that the character that we're getting isn't the same case as Apotheosis. I hope it doesn't go down that way. But that's all I got. If you guys did enjoy this video, feel free to like, subscribe, want to see more, and let me know down in the comments how you guys feel about this collab, or maybe you plan on maybe skipping this collab and maybe going for the 6th anniversary. The content may look dry here, but for sure the anniversary will give us plenty of it. So yeah, thanks for watching. Your fellow Z.